Welcome to the Season 4 Ribbon Guide, the most requested ever for some reason. Yeah, sorry I take my time with earning them these days. I took notes of all the challenges I got questions about, it's all timestamped as always. Let's get into it. You saw there the emblem was actually animated right away this time. Are we 2 for 5 now? That's pretty cool. As I always say, the XP grind of getting to level 155 is the biggest part of this. The challenges are nothing crazy, so use those XP events, assuming they actually work properly. This recent one wasn't at first. Wait, what? XP problems in Modern Warfare? No way. But everything else you can think of, tokens, happy hour, trials, challenges, especially weeklies, don't forget those exist, shipment, decoy grenades, and all the little tips and tricks I've spent tons of time on in previous guides. I don't think we need to hear about XP again. Let's just get into the ribbons. The big change this season is the inclusion of some Warzone challenges, which I've seen an absurd amount of hate about. A lot of people really don't like that. Well, only 15 out of 100 are Warzone related, and I'd say a couple of them are on the annoying side, but most of them are really not bad, even if you're someone who hates BR and hates Warzone. Let's go through them all, and I can give some more thoughts later. I picked out every Warzone challenge and sorted them into categories. I might have had a Rumble category for a couple of these, but Rumble is gone now, so I won't waste time talking about a mode that isn't here. It could very well come back, and if it does, just keep it in mind as a possible tool you could use. First up, stuff that's easy to knock out in Plunder. These could obviously be done in BR as well, if that's what you'd rather play, but I'm assuming I'm giving advice to solo players who do not like Warzone. So Plunder is absolutely the most friendly, easygoing place to grind stuff out. It's a respawn mode, dying doesn't matter, you get right back in with your class. It isn't BR, so you may find it boring or whatever, but I don't see how you could despise this mode. It's basically just a type of multiplayer mode. You don't even need to run into people. These challenges are all PvE. So going down the list, there's survive without being downed for 20 minutes. That sounds like something that could be hard, but it isn't. It doesn't seem to mean 20 minutes in a row. Like there was another challenge in a mission or somewhere to survive for 60 minutes without being downed. And I got downed all the time and still got that done. I don't think it matters. Maybe the timer pauses when you're dead, but it doesn't reset. As far as I can tell, this just means play Warzone for 20 minutes. I don't know. Drive a vehicle for 5 minutes, I mean, you'll do that automatically. Same with pick up 10 weapons, you should do that in BR. You don't need to pick up weapons in Plunder for any reason, but they are there. You can, so I put it in this category. You might even be able to drop your own weapon and pick it back up 10 times. I didn't try it, because why bother? You'll be picking up weapons in BR. Use 25 armor plates, happens all the time in normal gameplay, but you do unlock this kind of late, so you could just grind this out in Plunder if needed. You could use C4s with restock and just keep breaking your plates and buying more. It's easy to get tons of cash in Plunder, so you can do the same thing with buy 3 kill streaks. They are for sale in Plunder. No problem. Now we get to contracts. Start 3 contracts in the gulag. This confused several people. Yeah, they do mean the prison location at the bottom right of the map. That is the gulag. I guess they just expected you to know that. Not the best wording, because yeah, obviously you can't start a contract in the 1v1 arena type of gulag. Then there's the bigger grind. Start 30 contracts in downtown. Note that for both of those challenges, you only have to start the contract. It doesn't matter if you finish it, but finishing it will let you pick up the next one faster. And there is the other challenge to complete 50 contracts. May as well make progress on that at the same time. So for this, all it takes is diving for a helicopter ideally, not necessary, but fun and convenient, and then you fly around downtown picking stuff up. Recons, or the flags, are among the best. You can just go over to it and knock it out real quick. The new supply runs, also super fast if you fly over to them, and they're only 2 minutes if you want to let it expire. Bounties are great if you want to hunt people, and they're only 3 minutes, so it's okay to let that one expire too. Or someone could end up killing your target for you, that counts as complete. Searches can be fast as long as you want to do them, but they take ages to expire, so definitely do them. With Most Wanted, I assume you could pick it up and kill yourself to clear it, but I've never actually tried that. Otherwise, 3 minutes to complete it. Point is, all contracts can be done pretty fast, and they do respawn throughout the game. It isn't like everyone grabs them all at the start and you have to leave. So a good game might look like this. I think I got 8 or 9, lots of flags, then moved on to a couple searches. Apparently people really suck at Plunder because these are quads games and I get marked as a top earner almost every time doing this. Here I grabbed a bounty I had no intention of doing to go grab the intel mission thing. Epic efficiency, you could be doing one of those per game, but that's unrelated. Like whenever you pass by the people that camp on this high-rise platform thing every game without fail, you can give them a bonk. That's always fun. Yeah, I never ran out of contracts here because, as I said, they keep respawning. Just like the people on the tower, gotta keep messing with them. But not really, no reason to risk the helicopter. I think you get it. I usually don't step through the easier stuff, but with the amount of pain I've seen with people stressing out about needing to do this many contracts, I mean, you don't even have to play BR. It's really chill to be running around downtown as a solo in Plunder, and at the end of the game, if there's anything you want to buy from a buy station for those challenges mentioned earlier, you'll have plenty of cash for that. Next, we do have to enter the BR, but even these challenges don't force you to truly play the game. First are these 4 I labeled as easy. Survive in the gas for 25 seconds. Again, that isn't consecutive. The challenge is labeled gas mask, but you don't actually have to come prepared with a mask and stim shots or whatever. You can just stand on the edge of the first circle, step in the gas until you're almost dead, step out, regenerate, and keep doing that until you're done. Collect 3 loadouts. You don't have to get the 10k together for that. You can just pick up your free loadout that drops 15 seconds before the end of the first circle closing. If you're in a boring, low-traffic area of the map, good chance your loadout will drop alone, so there won't be any nearby teams getting drawn to you. Should be an easy one to get done. Win gulag 2 times. Alright, so you gotta win 2 1v1s. There should be similar skill people in your game, so call it a coin flip. Maybe you get unlucky, but you'll get 2 wins eventually. You'll need to play a decent amount of BR for the other challenges. You'll no doubt be sent to the gulag several times, so don't get too focused on it, making it frustrating for no reason. You don't have to get in the game and kill yourself just to gulag. It isn't like 40 wins. You should get 2 over time. And then finish in the top 30% 2 times. I guess you could plunder for that, but getting top 30% in plunder would actually require playing. I mean, you might get it from doing the contracts, because people kind of suck at plunder, but if not, in BR, you can totally camp and sneak around and make it into the top 30%, no problem. Roughly the top 45 people in solos. That could happen in the first couple circles depending on the game. Really doesn't take skill, you don't need to fight anyone, you can always camp it up, try to pick up your free ghost class, nothing to it. Finally, there are the 3 remaining BR challenges that I think are the only true roadblocks, but even these were made much better by the recent addition of the supply run contract. Buy 10 munitions boxes, 25 armor boxes, and buy back 15 teammates. Or it actually says revive 15 people using the kiosk. I should quickly address that. Saw a depressing amount of confusion about the word kiosk. Yeah, that's not Russian for some kind of crazy item you need to find. It's just a word that means booth or shop. They mean the buy station. Come on, people, context. And did nobody play Roller Coaster Tycoon? Man, alright, now that we know kiosk means buy station, yeah, these are the grindiest challenges. I'll go over the various ways you could approach them. Let's cover the boxes first. As an aside, there is a mission challenge step for resupplying from an armor box 25 times. Might want to do that at the same time as this. That challenge can get done faster though, because if you put down a crate and a whole team takes from it, that counts as 4 on the challenge. Anyway, that's just for that mission if you care about it. For the ribbon, you have to buy 25. First up, if you happen to have a team of people, the more the better, because when you do a contract, everyone gets the cash. Flags are terrible for money, but searches can make you rich crazy fast. And of course, bounties and playing aggressively can too, but I'm assuming you're here because that's not what you're into. So just grabbing a couple back-to-back searches can make you a ton of money. Like here in less than 3 minutes into the game, we flew around doing a couple searches and had 30k. Easy 5 armor boxes in a couple minutes. We'd have even more money in quads. But at the same time, not really 5 armor boxes, because I don't want to do that to my team. Hey, instead of having fun and playing to win, how about you all just help me do a challenge? Yeah, feels kinda dickish. Up to you if you have a team that all wants to challenge hunt together. By far the best way to get the challenge done is to get lucky with a fire sale event. So you could play games where you hold on to a decent chunk of cash and play kinda campy somewhere near a buy station, like we spent a few games on places like the train station roof, cause I'm just hoping for a fire sale. It would make the boxes 80% off, you could absolutely fly through the challenge with that, but that takes luck, that I never got. Got some jailbreaks. Woohoo, love those. So let's transition into more solo strategy, and for the haters of BR, another decent way to get some lazy cash without really playing would be to pick up most wanteds and camp somewhere practically untouchable, like some big roof or tower. 3 minutes of doing nothing will give you a decent payout. But if you're going solo, supply runs are the saving grace of this challenge. They are mini enslaved fire sales that give you a discount on one item. All you gotta do is drop in, get a vehicle and a supply run, go do it, buy the box that you need, and repeat. If you need both types of boxes, you don't even need to pick up any cash. The contract gives 1,000 for completion, which is enough to buy an 80% off munitions box, and then the contract bonus will build, so you'll be getting enough to buy the armor boxes from then on. Eventually, you could be making enough extra money to buy the discounted armor box plus a full price ammo box. Someone might eventually blow up your trophy systemless vehicle, and you'll have a shot at winning gulag, and then you can maybe keep going, although with the smaller circles, supply runs get quite a bit harder. Anyway, now you've turned this challenge into complete 35 supply runs in BR, or maybe fewer. That ain't that bad. You could rush through that in a couple hours. I know dying in BR can be frustrating, you may still not like it, but you don't have to take the game seriously at all. Just run around solo, doing contracts, put on some entertainment, get what you need, and be done. No big deal. Then there's the final Warzone challenge, the true final boss. Buy back 15 teammates. Should happen over time if you just play Warzone, but if not, this is the only one that's going to be a bit out of your control as a solo grinder, because obviously you need teammates, you need them to die, and you need them to not quit when they die, which is all too common in games with randoms. People often don't want to wait around if they aren't invested in the match. You could try typing or saying, hey man, don't worry, I can raise you when they get sent to the gulag, but ideally, you have people that you're actually partied with to do this. It may not be the advice you want, but absolutely the only way to have control over this challenge, to get it done quickly and easily instead of the hard way, is to party up. Feel free to use the comments to LFG and use my Discord server, it's always linked below. I can't promise anyone in there will be wanting to do this, it'll probably only be people coming from this video, but that might be an easier place to chat than YouTube comments. And all it really takes is one duo partner who's down to farm this challenge with you. I tried it here in quads. Thank you to these honorable gentlemen from the Discord who agreed to all die repeatedly in unfortunate parachuting accidents so that I may record driving around reviving them. Once again, I was using the supply run method because it's fire sale rules, reviving is totally free, so I did that a lot. Eventually I said, alright, you can stop killing yourselves, I think that's enough, and then I died too, gulagged, and then went back to doing more supply runs. Eventually we were all back in again, and actually pretty rich because we were on an 8 contract bonus. What do you know, we're back in the game. Bought our loadout and had our whole team alive, unlike most people, it looked like. And we made it to the very end of that ridiculous suicide game. And then we got airstriked. Anyway, pretty funny stuff. That is how quick and easy the challenge can be if you find someone who wants to work together on this. Again, I said you really only need a duo partner. You don't need to try to organize a quad, because the supply run is only one free revive at a time, and your teammate can kill themselves before you can get to the next supply run to res them. So if you both want the challenge done, just alternate games. It's easier if one person is the dedicated reviver in one game because of gulag being kind of inconvenient. So you all hate this challenge, you have that in common. If you work together, you can get this done super quick, no sweat. Otherwise, good luck queuing with randoms. And hey, it is only 15 revives. You could just play the game and let it happen if you don't hate it. Those are all 15 Warzone Ribbon challenges. I hope I've made it clear how most of them are really nothing to be worried about. I will admit I think those last 3 are not so great, because mandating buying armor and ammo boxes isn't very conducive to normal gameplay. Like whenever I was playing with friends, I had to jokingly interject that we needed one when we really never do.
I have 1 mag of AR.
Sounds like someone could use a munitions box.
Go for it.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna buy plate.
Nah, I should buy a box.
Yes, you should. That'd be actually incredibly helpful.
Yes! So I wasn't a fan of that. Progress is gonna be super slow unless you sabotage your team or outright hunt for it with supply runs. And thank God for that contract being added, making it much less of a problem. But if I could change these challenges, I'd make it something like spend 50,000 cash in BR, which is a similar challenge, but it gives you your choice back. Because BR is a semi-serious mode. You don't want to have too big of a challenge that makes you choose between going for the win or going for the challenge. Yeah, there ain't gonna be a fire sale. I want to drop down there and spend this money. But we got the roof.
Oh my god.
What have you done?
Oh my god. That was... Oh my god.
Amazing. Alright, that's coming back to our side. Wow.
Okay, cool. We're still safe on the roof, Pog. It happens sometimes, Zach. We could buy him back later.
yeah, I could.
Oh, you're gonna die if you do that.
Yeah, I do want to go down, but they have to come through here, so...
Oh yes, you could buy another ammo box too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's one. I'm going.
It's
Yeah, they're both here.
oh, buy it back. Oh, run.
No, let me buy a box, you bitch! Let me buy a box!
You shouldn't have finished him.
I shouldn't have. And then for the reviving, maybe make it revive teammates or buy self-revives, just to make it less of a pain in the ass for solo players, and then it could be easily knocked out in Plunder, give people that non-BR option. Overall though, because I've been asked many times what I think about them including Warzone this season, I do think a lot of people were overreacting with the outrage over this. People saying they ruined it, I hate Warzone, I'm never doing this, I guess I can't get the emblem, thanks. Reddit posts with thousands of upvotes saying it shouldn't even need to be said, don't put Warzone in the ribbons. And like, I can understand if you don't enjoy BR, but nothing here really takes that long, and there's nothing skillful. You don't need to win a single game. None of the challenges even require you to see another player, aside from 2 gulags. With efficient supply runs, you won't have to play much BR at all, and Plunder is so chill, it really is just like any other multiplayer mode. At the end of the day, these are challenges. They're meant to challenge you to go out of your comfort zone and play in some ways that you usually don't. So them asking you to get some contracts done is no different than asking you to play S&D or Ground War or Gunfight. Maybe you don't like those game modes either. Plenty of people don't. And I will say I'm glad there's generally not a huge focus on game mode challenges in Ribbons. Cause yeah, you shouldn't be forced to play a bunch of stuff you hate. But them asking you to dip a toe in the different stuff that the game has to offer, I think is perfectly fine. If you want the emblem that shows your mastery of Modern Warfare Season 4, you gotta try all the things. I think I even said back in Season 3, I was surprised that they didn't include any Warzone in the ribbons. And hey, maybe in Season 5, they'll include some co-op stuff, which I assume people will also not like and find boring or pointless. But I don't know, to me, it's a challenge hunt. As long as they stay pretty reasonable, which I think they have, then I'm glad they're getting a little creative here and mixing it up. Cause goddamn, I do not want to do the resistance challenge for the 5th time. Who cares about that? Why would I want the emblem to be the same goddamn thing every season? That is not interesting at all. So that's my take. I know it's the unpopular opinion to say that it's okay they included some Warzone, but hopefully you can see where I'm coming from. You don't have to like BR to knock them out, no problem. Hopefully talking through them all has helped you see them in a different light if you were super resistant to try any of the Warzone ribbons. It feels like the video's over, but it is not. Now on to the multiplayer officer ribbons, or elder challenges, as the game sometimes calls them. Cool. Obviously less to talk about here, but I still get lots of questions about a few things. Like, you do have to run over 30 people again, and the best way to do this is sadly gone. Rumble made it super easy, and Rumble was around for several weeks, much longer than the usual one-off mode, so it could very well be back, keep that in mind. Just swap from the tac insert to the trophy system to help protect the car, drive around to the enemy side, and run over some snipers. Otherwise, without Rumble, if Infected Ground War comes back, that would be good too. Even regular Plunder can be pretty good. I chop people up all the time in there with helicopters. And finally, there's the old reliable Wheelson method. Just earn one on shipment or any small map, it ain't too high of a streak, and roll around hitting people with it. Hardcore is even better for no radar and guaranteed kills instead of the occasional hit marker from sideswiping someone in core. It ain't a bad challenge, but definitely easier if a helpful mode is around. Next, there are 3 quad feeds you gotta get. Still see plenty of groaning about that every season. Thankfully now I have a full video dedicated to them that I can point people to. It explains the hidden speed requirement that seems to be why they sometimes don't count, even if it looks like they should've. It also talks a bit about getting them, but it's all the standard stuff. Big streaks like gunships, choppers. The new Promenade Ground War map is very long, and if you call in a white phosphorus, that can be pretty crazy. And shipment is obviously great for passively getting them over time. You should get one now and then, maybe with the help of a streak, or if you're grinding on hardcore shipment and using any decent gun, like this Galil or an AK are perfect for always one-shotting, you should be losing track of how many quad feeds you're getting. And Infected too, of course, if you enjoy it. Sometimes I don't mention it, and I always see people say Infected is the best by far, but it just depends. Like, I personally don't want to play it, so getting to the end game of being the last alive and going for the feed, I find annoying, because if you fail, you have to do that whole setup over again. While with Hardcore Shipment, I can get several every game, and it's what I want to be farming anyway. So, totally up to you. There's one challenge for getting 2 long shots within a minute. That isn't hard, but I just wanted to say, just because it says long shot, that doesn't mean you have to leave shipment if that's where you're grinding. Just swap to a shotgun, maybe even have fun with the newly buffed slugs, or go to hardcore to make it super easy to get shotgun long shots. That'll make that challenge a complete non-issue. You don't need to be getting proper long shots with a sniper or anything. Now, a big one I should mention, all clear, destroy 30 equipment. It doesn't seem to include field upgrades like trophies, even though they're hackable. This challenge is unlocked kinda late, and can end up being annoying if you ignore it. So as soon as you unlock this, I think you should put spotter on every class. In my experience, maybe a dozen games will go by where no one is using anything. Maybe you kill the occasional guy who was mid throwing a C4, and you can shoot it quickly before it despawns. But then the God game will come along, where some guy's tossing down double Bettys or Claymores, and your focus should completely shift to taking those out. This challenge is only frustrating if you put it off or get super unlucky and it ends up being your last one. So try to avoid that by putting on spotter right away and keeping it in mind, because there's no reliable way to hunt equipment. You can theory craft about people using more mines in S&D or cyber attack or whatever, but it's still totally random, so don't bother playing those modes if you're gonna hate them the whole time. Finally, I should mention kill streaks. There aren't any high streak requirements this time, like chopper or jug kills, only stuff like call in 5 clusters and airstrikes, call in 30 UAVs. Well, just so you know, calling in streaks in other modes does count. Obviously, Warzone counts for most things, but streaks do still even count in co-op operations, where most things do not count, because they're bots. But kill streaks are the exception. There isn't much of a need to co-op cheese anything this season though, and Plunder would actually be the fastest way to call in a ton of streaks. With the cash you'll have from contract hunting, you can buy and spam stuff out like crazy. Anyway, they're all low streaks, so easy to earn in multiplayer as you grind. I think that's everything I saw people bring up, or I had something to say about. Nowhere near as much to say about the multiplayer side of things, because it's mostly more of the same, simple stuff that doesn't take any special strategy, just checking things off the list. There are plenty of weird bugs mixed in here too, like I did the C4 challenge without using any C4, headshots with a secondary weapon when I was using my primary with a launcher, snack attack, I don't think I did any time recently. Plenty of stuff like that. I don't know how much of this is actually buggy challenges, because maybe it's just being awarded to me on a big delay, and I'm not putting the pieces together, because that is a thing in this game, as we know. Alright, I'm glad to finally wrap up the Season 4 ribbons. I saw so many people ask when it'd be done, or if I was gonna cover them. Well, of course I will. I've covered every season. I'm not gonna stop now. Again, sorry that I'm really not interested in rushing through them these days. Then of course I waited for there to be double XP, and did the whole grind on the day where double XP wasn't even actually working. Awesome, thanks for that. Well, I hope if you were waiting to try those Warzone challenges, or have been avoiding them at all costs, this has helped show that they aren't the end of the world. And if you want that emblem, even as a solo, non-BR fan, you can totally get them done. No stress. Best of luck with your emblem hunt, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.